we we're back with another episode of the Seasons podcast. I'm here with a special guest, another family member. I'm here with my brother.
Christian. You meant to say Christian too.
Where where can we find you at? Where can we find you at?
Um, Everywhere, man. The community pool,
Huh?
the Pizza Hut, the studio,
Yeah. With
the
that
studio.
with that being said, we're gonna move on. Is there anything you want to say before we start into this episode? I got a bunch of questions I want to ask you.
I'm not gonna lie. This is a very lively scene. Like if y'all could see what's going on right now, it's a very scenic site. It's like a community center right now.
You just said that they could find you at the community hall. What does that mean?
I said it's like a community center right now.
No, but before that, you said I asked you where could they find you. You said the community hall.
No, the community pool.
No, but like where is that at?
What you mean?
No, but what are you implying?
That I can't even because you know how
Right,
Michael
never mind. We
Phelps-
can
no,
move
Michael
forward.
Phelps. Listen, look. Michael Phelps, Pablo Escobar, and YNW Melly mixed into one. Bow.
What? What? Yeah, we're gonna move forward.
All right.
We're gonna move forward amicably because there's clearly a discrepancy here. I got one question. The first question I got for you.
Of course.
What's the biggest thing you've learned at your age? Actually, matter of fact, before we even do that, go ahead. Well, you can let them know your age if you don't mind.
I'm 18. No, I don't mind. I'm 18.
So yeah, the question is, what's the biggest thing that you've learned at your age?
So I'm glad you asked this question. Genuinely, it's
If
so
you need
much.
some time to digest it, that's perfectly fine.
You don't realize how unbelievably fake people are until you get out of that high school, like till you get out of that classroom. Like once you hit the real world, the people fold so quickly, bro. People you thought it was like, and people say it all the time, and you're just like, oh yeah, there's fake friends. No, it goes so much deeper. Like it's really be like your day
It
ones.
do get grimy. It do get grimy expeditiously. That's fair. I think it's something that like, cause as I'm about to turn 25 in 3 months, y'all peep that he about to turn 19 in a couple months, couple weeks actually,
2 weeks.
in 2 weeks. Y'all can the cash app. I'll drop in the description below after the episode. But if y'all want to,
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
we taking cash app requests for big toe pigs.
I don't got Cash App or Zelle.
We'll take cash. I'll drop a mutual location for us to receive. So
Oh my goodness, mutual location is crazy. Drop the package off.
yeah, 1,000%. If y'all want to drop some cash, let me know. Let me know. I need that 1,000%. Trying to unlock my phone because I'm sitting here trying to figure out why my phone locked.
His password's 42 numbers and letters.
It's definitely just letters. Whoever out there who's looking for my password, like, just don't. Just don't.
I'll sell it to you.
Huh? So you couldn't put your cash up in the episode, but you're gonna sell someone my password?
That's not business. That's code. That's you know what I'm saying?
No,
not
I
business.
don't know what you're saying.
This is a business transaction. Like if they want the password, they can give me some bread and I'll give it to them.
How are you
but,
gonna
like,
offer
just-
up my intellectual property as a product?
consumer market?
We're gonna move on. The second question is, what do you think is the next thing you have to learn at your age? Don't be us, bro. I can tell whatever you about to say.
Hey, no, I'm not gonna say that wild. It's more like
Alright.
realistically restraint and what's the word for
What are you thinking of?
putting yourself in someone else's shoes? Like
Oh,
trying to be
empathy
more-
/
more-
sympathy.
Yeah, but not in like a more like being a more empathetic person in the sense of like maturity too.
Oh, I see what you
Like
mean.
it's very you can tell like even like when you're in the situation you can tell when like it's like a genuine thought process or like when it's just,
Right.
you're just throwing something together.
Yeah. I think the last thing you said, like with fake people, like having not necessarily empathy, but some more or less like empathetic control, like of your maturity allows you to navigate fake situations effectively. And it's a skill that I don't even have down completely because best believe like the in my heart of hearts, I avoid crashing out, but it's by luck. It is strictly by luck. So it's something you have to keep learning.
Nah, for real. It's a very. I ain't even gonna. My fault.
It's something. It's definitely something. I'm about to be 25, and it's still the most difficult thing ever. Being empathetic is the most difficult thing ever. Because if someone pisses you off, like, what's the point of putting yourself in their shoes? I don't want to.
It just seemed like it's
They
a lot of
stink.
people that want the belt. That's what it is.
You said they want the what?
The belt.
You said the belt?
The belt.
Like your, your, your parents like give you
Figure.
the belt?
Figure of speech, but the belt. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. It's just a lot of people that want the belt. They stepping out of line for no reason.
All right. I don't. What did you just plug in?
What you mean play? It's just you didn't. It's
Right,
just
right,
slang.
right, right,
It's slang,
right.
bro.
I'm
You
not.
gotta
I'm not a part
understand.
of it. I'm not a part of it.
It's our ball, ain't it?
Ah, we're gonna go to the next question. What is the what is the biggest ceiling you see yourself shattering? So I'll put it like this. What's something that somebody told you that you can't do that you look forward to doing?
I I can't even think of something on the spot. There's never really been a person that's like got in my face or like got to the point where they were like, yeah, you can't do this, or like someone. I'm not even in the face, like getting in my face. I've never really like. There's been people that hated, obviously, like your butt, and everything. But there's never really been someone
Your
that's like, you
butt is a
can't do
term that's
this,
crazy.
you can't do this. Like you will never succeed. Like I've never really.
You've never had someone do that. That's crazy.
Once if you carry yourself a certain way, a certain crowd avoids you because they know that it's not a gossip session. You feel me?
That's something to digest. That's downloadable content.
Like that. Like it's someone can be unacceptable. Let's say their behavior can be unacceptable, right? We'll just say unacceptable. I'm just using different forms of speech to refrain from cursing.
Egregious. Yeah.
Someone's behavior can be very unacceptable.
Right.
If you carry yourself a certain way, it don't matter how petty they want to think they are, how big they think they want to be, like how think they are, like they're not going. You know what I'm saying? Like
No.
they can
Yeah.
just tell you're not one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. You're just talking just to talk.
It's
And it's
it's
quite
limits.
apparent. I feel like it's the same thing of like when people like let's say somewhere to talk trash and you just sit there and look at them. Like I feel like you're like you can tell that you're talking just to talk. Like you probably feel uncomfortable. Not you, but the person who's
Yeah, I
talking
know what you
trash
mean,
who's
yeah.
just like, all right, I just look lame doing this and they walk off.
I mean, yeah, in a sense, yeah, yeah.
I think it really depends. I don't know. I think in high school, had I been in your headspace earlier on, it probably would have been easier. But I don't know. I think the people who told me I can't do something is the reason why I go so hard to do it. But I think a lot of times people have to transform that. It's like, for example, like I'm doing this shit now because I want it,
Real.
not because someone said I can't do it. Like I'm just doing it because I want it now. Like it's
Yeah.
completely mine, 100%. There's nobody who can push me or like hold me back. Like it's all me. It's all or nothing.
Exactly. That's the best kind of fuel, to be honest, because that's a fire that started from nothing. That's gonna keep going with nothing.
Right. Right. You can't blow on it. Pause. You can't.
Like
Bro, I wasn't trying to make it. It was a pause moment. I didn't mean for it to come out like that. Pause.
you had to bring up the guy who went on the jet.
No.
Okay.
No. Not at all.
All right, it's a forbidden subject.
Yeah, we gonna have to let that one go. So I got two more questions for you, and I free ball it.
Free ball.
I got. What are the biggest misconceptions? What are the biggest misconceptions people have of you at your age?
the decision making reflects just emotions or like here no let me just start from scratch with
Oh, you
that.
about to say the
Let me
frontal
just
lobe
start from
jump?
scratch with that. Yeah, like when as you get older, you look back and you see decisions you made, and you're just like, oh, that's terrible, that's bad. Like, why would I do that? This and the third. I'm not denying that that feeling exists, but that doesn't mean it's always right. Like you can do
Right,
like you
right.
when you develop your prefrontal lobe, you're gonna look back at something and be like, yeah,
I
I
did
wasn't
something
supposed
quite
to do that.
stupid.
Yeah, I did something quite stupid, but in reality, it couldn't. It probably wasn't something stupid, but you just matured to a level where
It's
like,
just the wrong reaction.
yeah, where you just
Yeah, I can see
that's how
that.
you cope with it,
I
bro.
can
Like
see
how you
that.
put it aside.
I can see that.
So it's like
I feel like that's life, or at least my life particularly. I think that that's like the frontal lobe. Oh my gosh.
you like just because you're young doesn't mean you're making dumb decisions. Let's get that out the way. You
Yeah,
can be young and dumb, but you can also be young and smart.
yeah. You can make the best decisions that you possibly have at the time. I don't know. I think sometimes people when they use the frontal lobe thing, it can be like I won't say gas. No, I'm gonna use gaslighting. I guess it's more like, oh, look at you tweaking out because your brain isn't developed. Like, move on, please.
Yeah, like that right there, that active, like that behavior. You're making it seem like there's someone's like a baby. Like, what if they put hands on you? Like, what's the next move?
I guess he defend himself, and I hope.
Like,
I
what?
guess the immediate public assumption is that with your frontal lobe being developed, you shouldn't lose.
That's
I
what I'm saying.
suppose.
No, your frontal lobe is developed. You should have been the mature one and not engaged in the situation like you did.
I sometimes wonder because I don't know a lot about the brain as much as I used to. I wonder if like people's frontal cortex being developed has null and void to do with a lot of things. Because I feel like it just gives you
Yeah.
capacity to process things as opposed to like if you make bad decisions with your frontal cortex like developed, like you were gonna make that bad decision regardless. So how does it feel knowing that your brain's developed and you still
Yeah.
did something heinous?
That's yeah, nah, you're not lying at all. Like,
And I don't mean that in terms of like we can't make mistakes, but people who like coin that term and like use it like religiously, that is
would you say have you would you say your prefrontal your lobe is what I'm saying like at 25 has been not well I'm not gonna say fully but like is there a noticeable change in your mindset and the way you look at things?
there was definitely a shift when when I hit 24. Just the crash out just wasn't in me. I think it warranted a different reaction. Mind you, I still get mad. That's definitely the biggest thing I have to work on because I feel like I think the way I give people grace and patience evolved, and definitely how I get irritated evolved. But I think like when I give someone a chance to like get the out, like if I tell someone that you lied to me and then I ask you about it and you continue to lie, at 24, I would have done an action. I mean, not at 24. If I was younger than 24, I would have done an action. But now I'm just going to say something and then I'm going to move on, or I'll talk it out and move on. But instead of me doing something and like standing on it, I'd rather just converse. You don't like it, you don't have to. I move on. I don't think that things became as deep as they used to be.
It sounds like with like said wisdom and experience it makes you more like fed not fed up but more like aware of how petty or like how minuscule some events are. So like when something happens
Mm,
to put hands on someone, it just feels like
it's
such
just
an
not
out the
worth it.
way event.
I guess another
No,
part of it is
nah.
when you have that mindset of like when you want to put hands on somebody. I'll use that as an example. You don't even think about the rest of the stuff you got going on. And I think that like at a certain age, I can't. I guess I got to a place where I can't afford to put hands on somebody, and like the peace that I get from it is so much more important. Like I remember one time, I don't remember who it was, but they definitely wanted to fight. And in my head, I'm like, I'm trying to build something for myself. I can't let that go down. Like I can't let you ruin it. I can't let a decision I made in 5 seconds determine my life for 5 years. Like I just
No,
can't
that's
come to that
real.
conclusion.
That's
And
real.
I've always had that mindset, but I guess it just became more day to day, like situation by situation, as opposed to like this overall mentality of like I'm not gonna crash out about it. But now I can do it like from situation to situation. But I will say at 25, as it approaches, I do see a difference in I don't want to say fed up, but the emotional intelligence side of things is a lot more irritating for me now.
Much less leniency for other people's
Yeah.
antics.
And it's like I used to be so empathetic and so sympathetic, and I still am. But it's just like I think there's a certain amount of like there's just a threshold of like I can't tolerate this amount. Like I wake up, I go to work, I get off work, I
Pause.
do right. Pause. I wake up, I go to work, I get off work, I do other work, do whatever for whatever family, do continue to do whatever. Like I have too much stuff going on to spend what 10 to 15 minutes like trying to go back and forth about who did what. Like I just let's just leave it be. And I think it's a different ball game at 25, I suppose, because now I feel like I have a much better radar for like we don't have to talk about this. We can just separate, move forward, and we can just leave it at that. And I think that I have a much better barometer for it. Now, people still do surprise me. Best believe, people do surprise me. They surprise me every day. But I think that I have a much better barometer when it comes to people and like the friends I have now. Because I think like on my hand right now, if I were to get shot or anything of that nature, God forbid, mind you, I would never speak that over myself. But if something were to happen, like I know for a fact I have about maybe 5 good friends, guaranteed, that I could just be like, yeah, I'm leaking. Let me I need X, Y, and Z. And I think everyone outside of that is kind of just like good people, but it's not the same as like the people you count in your hand. So I think it's just this understanding importance and significance of people in your lives. And I think the closer I get to 25, the more I can appreciate people. I think that when I was younger, what was nagging before, that's another thing too. I did not fall into that cliche of like parents weren't tripping as I got older. I fell in that cliche of like certain things weren't tripping. I definitely think my grandfather plays a big part because beforehand I used to be like, dang, there's so much going on. But now that I'm older, I'm like, wow, he's doing a lot for other people. I have yet to seen he moves differently, and it's funny because as you get older, oh, that's what it is. When I feel like as my brain gets developed and as I experience more things, you're able to see yourself in the people around you. So it kind of helps you self-reflect and be self-aware. Like whatever my mom does, whatever my grandmother does, whatever my brother does, whatever my grandfather does, like I can see how I do those things or adopt them or copy them. Or if I deviate from
Yeah,
them or any variation of it. That's kind
like
of been the pivotal
continuing the
part.
cycle.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that in of itself? Like, do you even like the fact like hold on, let me reword that. Like when you go out and
Like the
let's
feeling
say
of being out of control sometimes when it
yeah,
happens.
like let's say you have a kid and you catch yourself saying something that exactly like your father would say or like your mom would say or like them before them or whatever, and you can just tell it's something like an old head would say. How do
Mm.
you feel about it? Like me personally, I don't like it. I don't got a kid though, but yeah.
I find myself navigating it for myself first. Like, how can I put this? If you tackle like how parenting has affected you, like through your parents, like from my mom and for dad, like if I tackle how that experience affected me and how it shows up in me, it allows me to navigate it a whole lot better when that situation does come. And I've done it in ways already. So I think when I have a kid, like of course there'll be times where it like slips out, but like there's no perfect method that'll stop it from slipping out because it's who I am. Like 24 years of me is that. So it's like, how am I supposed to like rectify 24 years of habits and stuff like that over in one instance? I might not be able to catch it, but you can resolve it. It's just about quick, positive re-exchange.
No, that's real.
I think it's the easiest part because I think a lot of times I think there's people that I'm friends with now that if I know their situation, their parents, I feel like I can easily see now how it shows up in their life and how they maneuver it. And it's like, that's interesting because beforehand, I don't think I would have seen it as much as I do now.
Okay, I see what you mean. That's so weird how topics like that work. Cause like whenever you like think of something, like when you like realize something you've never thought about, like in
Yeah.
that way before, it almost like clicks.
And I had an inkling. You can always have an inkling. I think that's part of the growth too. Is like I was never like completely oblivious to it, but you have an inkling, but then you get confirmation, and now it's like, oh, so beforehand I wasn't completely wrong. I was off the mark, but I wasn't completely wrong, and this is something I can peep now, and you just keep moving forward like that. But I think grace is important too, because if you let's say you got parents that you despise and you act like them, like you got two choices. You can let that sit with you and that negativity, or you can just be like, it's not even me, and then just push it outwards. So that way you're at least responsible for yourself. You can be like, yeah, I know where this came from. This is how it shows up in me. It's my job to not let it go any further. And that's typically my quote unquote go to method of removing things. And it sucks too because it makes me look crazy sometimes. Like if I tweak out or if I have like an off time,
Yeah.
the quick like the way my brain turns the gears, like probably in like, and it won't come off genuine unless you know me. The 10 to 15 minute window after an incident occurs, I'm already there. I'm like, all right, I shouldn't have done this, that, and the third. I realize how it went out, and then I
Like
can
immediate
apologize on it.
realization.
Yeah, and it's so quick, but it sucks because of how quick the turnover is. If you don't know me, it's gonna come off like
Psycho.
here, take this. You be all right.
No, I understand. But some people could even take it as like people think it's bipolar or like some type of like just insanity the way people react to situations. Like someone could just be genuinely fed up and you just pull the last straw.
Yeah. I definitely think that that's something I got to work on too. When you operate from an empty tank, it's definitely a dangerous mindset to be in. I think that if you operate from a space where you ain't got no energy, no stamina, you just been working, grinding, whatever, and something pisses you off on the wrong day, like you let your tea or coffee be a temperature higher, and you burn your tongue, like that's it.
Just done for a whole.
I think that's where mindfulness comes in. Like, I think two things can be true. Like something that I want to start doing is like, let's say you have like a bad morning, like, don't say you're having a bad day. Like the morning just started.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's something I'm actually like really cruddy at. But I guess for me, I don't think about it the same way. Like if I say I'm having a bad day, like obviously it can change, but I have to do better at being mindful about it. Rough
Or,
morning, we'll figure it out the rest of the day.
yeah, or the fact that it's like all about perception. Like you could
Yeah,
be like, oh, I gotta go to work today, or you could be like, oh, got some time, got like 5, 6 hours to go to work, get some money in my account, wake my body up, feel me, get my
yeah,
joints moving, keep some youth in my bones. And it's not even a hassle for you. You just come back home, continue your day after.
yeah. Oh, that's what I was thinking of. When I got to a certain age, I realized you can choose people's BS that you deal with, and obviously that's like self-explanatory. But in terms of like, how can I put this?
Nah, that's deep. That's deep.
Let's say people gave you a resume of what they're gonna do in your life. You have every option to look at those resumes and be like, I'm gonna choose to put up with this. I'm gonna choose to deal with it. And now it's like more of a choice. I guess I think about it in terms of like a partner too. Like let's say you get in a relationship with somebody and they give you their resume of like what they've been through in their life, what they got going on. You choose who you suffer with.
That
That's
is true.
definitely that's definitely the biggest thing as well.
People always there's a culture for settling too. That's what it is. It's a culture for
Settling is a
settling.
really awkward conversation for me because I think a lot of times people
Yeah.
don't choose the right context for settling. Because you can get married to anybody, and that's just it just won't change. Like, you can get married to
That's an
anybody.
elite reference right there.
Settling is an awkward conversation.
Yeah,
I feel like it's so subjective. I think if you're self-seeking, settling should not apply.
that's real.
I guess I'll preface that. Like, for example, if someone's like me,
Own
me,
up
me,
to it
me,
now. Own
me,
up. Hold on now. Hold on now. Before you don't sugarcoat it. If you go when you describe an action or a way of life that you move, you gotta accept it and embrace it.
what you mean?
Someone that's friendly that doesn't want to be called friendly, they gotta accept it and just admit that they're friendly. You don't get to reword it as something else because you're not comfortable or because like that's just you know what I'm saying that's just not what you want to hear.
Oh no, I'm rephrasing the definition so I can preface it in terms of like, so for example, let's say someone's like, oh, I need all these things in somebody else, but they don't embody any of it. Like that's self-seeking to me. Like that's not settling for less to me because I feel like you're not even like looking for it for the right reasons. You looking for somebody to fill you up, and the whole point of being with a partnership is so you can be filled up equally. Your whole point is to serve, not be served. And I feel like if you come from the mindset of you're out there with a fork and knife and you're just ready for whatever's on your plate constantly 24/7, I feel like settling can't apply. 'Cause it's not the right headspace to do so in the first place.
And what was the question that you had asked beforehand? Sorry, it was something about what was the
I said biggest misconceptions of you at your age.
that oh my goodness, it's always like not to like YN Central. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always like YN Central. Like why is it always like crash out this, crash out that, bro? Like I like listening. I like the song "Come as You Are." I like watching Donnie Darko. You feel me? I like all things of that nature. You feel me? I'm a
Right.
very adventurous fellow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why is it always?
To be fair,
You know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
what is the vocal minority. Like I've never seen somebody outside of that age range like crash out in the way that they do unless they're in that age range.
No, that's fair. That's understandable.
Like if you're over 25 and you look like a YN and you're like crashing out, like now you just look it doesn't look acceptable.
Yeah, at all.
It doesn't look
But it's
acceptable
like
at all.
that's just what's it called when you just assume based off
It's
the
an
looks
assumption.
that they're gonna be
Oh, discrimination.
discriminate. I guess you could say it's discrimination. I
I
guess
suppose so. Or prejudice.
like
That
yeah,
could be a thing.
like
Prejudice.
someone will look at you and be like someone would like from like I've experienced like someone will look at me and be like, oh, you listen to DMV rap this and the third. I'm like, yeah, I do,
To be fair,
but I also listen to a whole lot of
okay,
stuff.
I
Like Messier.
actually, you're not a good example of that. Actually, you're actually a perfect example of it because a lot of times people assume that you listen to DMV music, and it sucks because the answer is yes,
Mm,
but there's a comma after that yes, like yes, but I also do X, Y, and Z.
no, for real,
But I
for
think
real.
people stop at yes. They
Like
take the comma
I
like a
was one of the
period.
weird kids, bro. I was one of the weird kids. No, I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Like I was in theater class, bro. I was in theater class. That don't mean like don't get it twisted. It's still me, but I was one
Right,
of them. Right? Come on, bro. It's
right.
crazy.
That's a fair point. Now that I think about it, because that's when we hung out with my friend Selena, she was like, he looks like a DMV person. I was like, I know, but he's
I am.
comfortable. He is, but it's funny because it's like you can't stop there. Like you might fit the bill, but you can't stop there.
Exactly. Like you haven't seen it because I haven't been. I'm been keeping it on the low, but like the fashion horizon it's gotten to the point where I went out there and just literally like put myself in somewhere. I was like, all right, I'm gonna look goofy as hell, but like it's just part of it.
That's
The
just part of the
evolution,
personality. It just
part
comes
of
with
the
the
process.
character. Like if I wanted to go to New York and look like a New Yorker, like I could. If I wanted to go to Maryland, look like I belong in Maryland, I could. Like there's nothing stopping me from doing so. It just so happens that this is the area we're in, so that's just what I chose to rock consistently. I think people a lot of times
I actually like DMV fashion though. I'm not gonna lie. I just it's part of the culture. Like it's just you seen your people wearing it. You
I
started
don't know.
wearing it.
I don't
It's
know.
just, yeah.
Every time I see clothes similar to DMV,
Plus the shiesty come intact.
shiesty as a regular covering of the face is insane to me. I remember one time I was at the I don't know where I was, but it was cold out. He was like, "Yo, I'm so cold." Took the beanie, pulled it down, and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, bro. It's become a whole like way. It's almost like a staple of the DMV almost now
But
at
I
this
feel like a
point. Like
shiesty is like I don't know something about going outside and being like, "Ooh, it's cold," and pulling the shiesty down. I don't know.
that's just
Something about it's not a good vibe. It's not a good look.
that's imprinted by society.
It is, but like someone has to stop making it be a fact. Like, what are the odds that you have a shiesty that you pull down regularly, comfortably, instinctually?
And it's like
But maybe that's me overthinking it.
another thing too is like navigating said social groups like in hierarchies. Like
Yeah.
when you go hang with your friend, like you go hang with the men, like you know what I'm saying. You just
Right.
cooling, kicking it, but then you go hang with your friends, like your white friends. You feel me? I'm gonna just say it. You
Right.
want to hang with your white friends, like y'all going to like y'all going to a lake. Y'all rolling paint,
We're
like,
going
y'all splashing
bowling.
in the water. Like we going bowling,
Or
playing
rock
soccer.
climbing.
No, for real. Like it's just two different, and both of them are
Completely separate thing.
enjoyable though.
Yeah.
Both of them are but they both feel right.
But I feel that comes with the duality of it. Like, I guess when I went to college, like understanding that, like, that's what people always told me that, like, I'm a table hopper. Like, whatever the circle is, like the jocks, the nerds, the geeks, the
Yeah, on
weird
God.
kids, like,
Yeah.
I'm a table hopper. But it was just like,
Pause.
yeah, pause. But it's just like one of those things where it's like, not one of these tables is all of me. Like each single table like comprises all of me. So it's not like I'm acting outside of myself. That's exactly who I am. Sometimes
Exactly.
I play sports. Sometimes I read books. Sometimes I'm watching films. Sometimes I do this. Sometimes it's all part of me. I don't like when people group that too.
Exactly.
It's really weird. Like
Like
you have to be one dimensional.
like when someone walks up to you, like have you ever had someone walk up to you like at lunch or something like that, or just be like, or in a situation, be like, yo, why are you hanging with them? Like they're weird, bro. You don't know, like,
A
bro, I'm
thousand
not,
percent.
like,
A
I'm not,
thousand
bro. What
percent.
do you mean? They're like, this ain't a TV, this ain't a movie, yo. Like we not about
This
to
is
just
real
like,
life.
why you trying?
This is real
Exactly,
life.
like I'm. What you mean they weird, nigga? I like this shit. Niggas walking up in shiesties and boot bags. Somebody, why you hanging with them, nigga? I like theater too, nigga. I like plays too.
Right.
Cut
So
that out.
I'll,
But
I'll leave it
yeah,
in. I'll leave it
yeah,
in.
that's why we're like,
It's
damn.
the authenticity of the episode. But I think yeah, it's really annoying because when I went to school in high school, it's like that, but not really. In high school, it was kind of like that, but I guess particularly like when we were hanging with so and so, like it was never really like that. Like it was assumed, but it wasn't like you were looked down upon if you went outside of the circle. Like you just kicked it with who you kicked it with. Now there were some people who applied it like that in a really weird way. I don't know why they did that, but it didn't get like that. Like that whole like what's what I'm looking for? That whole cliquish stuff until I got to college. When I got to college, oh, I used to say this phrase when I was a freshman. I was like, some people don't love themselves, and like I thought college was definitely the term for that. Oh my gosh, people were so stoked to be. I don't want to say pick me, but people were so stoked to be picked out of whatever circle they were in to go into a different
Exactly.
higher social hierarchy. It was just
Everyone wanted to be
weird.
cool.
Yeah, and it's like you can't, like can't be the focus. That can't be the focus at all.
When you try, it doesn't happen. If that makes
Yeah,
sense, but like it does at the same time. Like
it won't stay. It won't linger.
I could say me personally, I feel like I had like the best of both worlds, like of all worlds. Like I could say I'm not gonna. What's another word? I'm not gonna say
Well rounded.
delinquency is not the word at all.
Okay.
That's not like let's get that out the way. I'm gonna say this right now. Delinquency is not the
Okay.
word whatsoever. I got to go to prom my senior year. I got to go to homecoming. I got to go to school events, social events, football games, this, that, and the third. And I was doing things they told you not to do. I'll say that. So I feel like it was an overall very,
You just blend in.
yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
Like the tailgates they was having out there when it, yeah.
You got two different friend groups. You got one friend group is in the bleachers, like wilding out. You got another friend group that's on the side of the bleachers, having small
And one on the
conversations.
court. And one on the
Mm,
court.
yeah, it's the same way. I guess like oh, that's another thing too. It's gotten played out. Like now I'm not out and about. How many times can we be at the club with the same sign, hold it up, like on every Friday? Like please.
No, that is true.
And
That
if you
is
do
true.
go to the club, I'm not dissing you. You do whatever you want. I'm just saying for me, like I don't have the energy for it.
I feel like at a certain age, you got to translate your hobbies into another form of energy, if that makes sense. Like instead of taking that time
Mm,
and that mind, and the mind power, I guess you could say, to go to the club and do this at the third, get your friends together, get your peoples together, and go do something together, like have a fun
yeah.
event instead of just acting young. Like let's keep it. You got to grow up, bro. Like you got to grow up. You got to act grown.
But it's one of those things where I think that like mentally, I think that's where my maturity stands. Is like I already see it not being fruitful for me to continue, especially as I got. Obviously, I'm not perfect. Just want to put that out there. But as I got closer to religious and like trying to just get stuff out the mud and like working like hard, it's like I don't even have like the energy to find time to do those things. It's like if I want to hang out with my peoples, like I'm just gonna go figure out who's close by, figure out something we can do casually, do it, kick it, enjoy it, be fulfilled about it, and then go home. Like I don't want to make like a grandiose event every single time I'm stepping outside just to
That's
hang with
fair.
people.
That's fair.
And I'm not as tolerant as well for social interactions. I can be a social butterfly, but like too much now is overstimulating. Like if I go to the club,
Exactly.
like that's too much conversation. There's too many things I have to worry about. There's too many things I have to check for.
I gotta be with the right group of people to like be in order for me to be the funniest person in the room, I gotta be with the right group of people, or else I'm just not gonna
Mm,
want to talk to you. I'm not gonna want to grace you with the presence of said jokes.
mm. That's a fair assessment. I think I gotten more quiet over time. Because I think one time, what was it? It was we went somewhere, and all I knew was when I went there, they were like, "Yo, he doesn't drink," and they were like, "Oh, party pooper." I'm just like, I haven't even said anything yet. I just don't drink. Y'all were drinking before I got here. Like, y'all can't continue while I'm here. Like, I have nothing to do with y'all. It's completely irrelevant.
No, for real. Like it's a culture to
Enable.
Yeah, enable
But
and
also,
or
individualism is not
entice.
a thing. I think that's part of it too. The culture is not individualism; it's collectivism. You
Yeah,
have to
there.
be doing this to be considered X, Y, and Z.
When you really break it down, like even like the maturity aspect of things, like why people stop going to the clubs and why people stop doing things like that, is because their peers would look at them a certain way. That's why
Yeah,
there's a very small amount of people that hit that age and they still go, and everyone else is like, "Yeah, what is wrong with you?"
yeah. And I
You're
think
in
a
a
lot of
midlife
people's fear of
crisis.
missing
Like,
out includes that. Like, I think if you care about your image, like the status of it, like I've
yeah,
never gave any, I never gave a damn. Excuse my French. I've never gave a damn. Like, what would that gain for me? Like, if I were to insert any college like criteria that puts you, I guess, a social step above. Like I've never been concerned about how it's made me look or how it's made me seem. Like it's nothing that I lose sleep over. Like I'm not gonna wake up one day and be like, oh, the way that somebody thinks about me, I need to put out a video so that way I can rectify
yeah,
it. Like
yeah.
I'm not gonna be doing PSAs to clarify situations.
Like I'm always concerned about status, but it's like with myself, like not what someone else thinks me to be. Like if someone else looks at me and they're like, "Oh, he doesn't get money. Oh, he doesn't do this." I'm not gonna be hurt. But if I wake up and I can't look at myself as that type of
Yeah, if
person,
I
then
can't
I'm gonna be
represent
hurt.
myself well, then we have a problem. I'm not in alignment. That's how I typically apologize now. It's been a different thing because I feel like now, whether I was right or wrong in the situation, where maturity is, like if I feel like I didn't act in the way that I'm proud of, I'm gonna apologize.
Nah, for real.
That's just where I'm at with it.
Nah,
It ain't
nah.
perfect though. It ain't perfect though.
That's one thing I gotta shake, bro. It's a level of pettiness, like when
Yeah,
like
I
you
believe
hate
it.
someone, or not
Hate is
hate,
a
but like
strong
when
word.
not hate, my fault. Hate, I use that very lightly, but in the sense of like having beef with someone and they like have a problem with someone and then just like turn the other cheek, figuratively, I guess you could say, like that's nah, bro. I could be I could be 100% wrong, but if I have a problem with this person, I'm not
Mm.
wrong.
Elaborate.
Let's say, so for example, let's say me and Tito over here, right?
Oh
Me
wait,
and
no,
Tito
I
over
understand. I
here
think I understand what you're
have
saying.
had
Intention
problems,
versus
run-ins.
impact.
Yeah, me and Tito have had problems in the past or whatever. I just don't like Tito. You know what I'm saying? And we just, or listen, I don't. It's not like a real problem. It's just some type of like he be
Right.
tweaking a little bit. He say something wild, right? Or let's just say he say something. I'm just like, he calls me out on something. I'm just like, da, 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 da. No, it's not. You're dumb. That's not what it is. And then I get proven wrong. I'm gonna escalate it because if they were disrespectful with it, not like if they were just like, no, you're not, bro. Here it is.
Because
If
there's
they
this
were, if
beef
they're,
behind. Is beef behind it.
yeah, it's not you. If you my man's, you
If
could
it's a
talk to me
random
like that.
person, like you
Yeah,
can't assume it. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I'm
But
with you.
if this man like Tito raising his voice to prove his point of view and he getting disrespectful, Tito gonna have some hands put on him. Like that's just how it is.
Right. 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 Uh.
Like if you were to raise your voice, like nigga, like I know it's to get a point across, or I know it's like we're literally brothers. But
I
if
don't.
like
I
this
don't. Yeah. I'm about
random,
to say that you and I are
this,
siblings. So
but
it's
this
like.
like let's you say you need to get your like let's say for example you're yelling at me, you need to get your life together, you need to do this. I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna take it and listen. Now let this nigga Tito say that. Like now hold on now it's really
Won't
gonna
you
be a
get up?
problem. Now it's really gonna be a problem. Me and Tito definitely got something to talk about for sure.
You hit him with the. I know you're not talking.
Nah, for real. That's when the slow head turn, like and everything, bro.
Uh,
Some people just don't have a place to comment on your situation in life, and it's
but that's.
okay
I
to
guess
have
that's
that
part of the
boundary.
piece. Like you just let it. I'm not. I don't want to say turn the other cheek. I feel like somebody gonna get them. It may not have to be you this time, but somebody gonna get them. And like I mean that in like a humble way, in terms of like if you let them slide, like it'll come back. It'll
Like
hit
them
them
being who
regardless.
they are is gonna get them back.
Yeah,
eventually.
like anything that you do to them, what their decisions would do to them will be much worse. So it's like just let time hit them. That's what I've learned.
Some people get lucky though, bro.
Right, but some people feel like they have to be the person to do so. Because I have a friend right now. Well, actually, me and him are more like acquaintances. But I know for a fact he gonna be like, oh, it's not his time yet. He would if like let's say the chapter is like this person's in your life. He gonna grab the page himself, fold it, and be like, I'm gonna come back to this personally.
Yo, what? Nah, that's like a that's yeah.
He
That's
would
a
be
whole
like,
different
hold
ball
that.
field.
And he'll come back. He'll be like, I'll wait for the perfect time. I'm not like that. I might think about it, but I'll never act on it, and I'll move forward.
You know, abandonment is very common amongst these people.
Yeah, I think something that you might get used to is I think anytime I were to crash out now, it probably will not be over myself. It'd probably be over other people. Like if someone were to disrespect me, like swing on me, I weave. I'm not gonna be like, yo, run it. I'm probably gonna be like, all right, back up. I'm not gonna fight
Now
you.
that's
I'm
fair. That's
walking
really
off.
how I am now too.
But if someone were to swing on y'all, I'm sorry.
Nah, not to that
I
degree.
let it go.
Nah, you definitely got it. You definitely got it. Cause like if someone swings on me, I'm not gonna be as mad as if they were to swing on one of my people. But I'm gonna
That's
still
how
be
I
mad.
am. I feel like if it's me, I can be the bigger person. But if it's somebody else, I don't have it in me yet. Like if someone were to swing on people I love, like I know for a fact, like that show. Good luck, Charlie. Good luck, Charlie. Like
That's a
that's
perfect reference, elite reference right there.
that's GG's. But I'm trying
Right.
to do better at it because I think even sometimes now, like I probably won't do it as much. Like if it's kids, like I'm not gonna like.
You just gotta use the dad voice on kids, brother. D, get
I
hey.
mean, now people think I'm somebody uncle. Somebody asked me the other day. They're like, "Do you have kids?" I'm just like,
Worst question to ever ask a young male.
I'm at that age now where people think I have kids. And it's like, dang, like I do want kids, and it's like I want them at a younger age. But now you're thinking I already have them. I gotta get in the gym. I gotta do my skincare routine. Maybe it's the beard. I don't know. Something's afoot.
I want to have a full head of gray hair, but it still be like this. Like you know how like when you get older, like and you don't take care of your hair
You
enough,
would
it
just look like an old
thins.
vegetable.
It thins. You know what I'm saying? No, not like this. Like right now, right now, like
Uh,
it's rough right now. I'm talking about like in P. All right, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on,
you ain't
bro. Come on.
specify.
All right,
You didn't specify.
skin fade specialist. All right, but what was it? I want like when I don't mind the gray hairs. Like people think when they get older,
I
they're
don't
like,
think I
oh, I want
mind
to
them
dye
either.
them. Like nah, I want to rock my hair full gray, like these.
Yeah, that's always been something interesting when people dye their hair. I mean, I guess to each his own. At the end of the day, it don't bother me. You're not gonna affect me by doing it, but it's so interesting because I'm just like, yo, just it's what it is. Like it's the
Yeah,
wisdom that came with it. Like let people respect you a certain way.
as long as I don't look old,
Right.
like in the sense of like wrinkles and things of that nature.
That's what stress is for.
But like if that's the case, like if you're looking at your older version of yourself, you got all, you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And nah,
You know what's crazy? I can't think of an age where like the way I look now changes significantly, unless it's my body structure because I'm in the gym.
yeah. That's one thing that's not talked about enough too. Like as you're growing up, like I've witnessed, like I have like photos of me keeping track, like for like 2 3 years maybe of me just
Mm.
like tracking my like growth as a human, like the face, like you evolve, like you really
Yeah,
evolve, but like you grow up so much in front of your eyes without even noticing.
yeah. I used to be. Oh my, the crash out I used to be. Oh dear God.
Wicked.
I'm so glad the man I am
Get him a
now.
Capri Sun.
But it's really perfect timing. I think every version of me has been, I won't say required. Well, I'll say this. Every version of me has helped me survive.
Been summoned, I guess you could say. It's been
Yeah.
brought from the trials and tribulations.
Yeah, every version of me has allowed me to survive. But I think now at my age now I'm thriving. Now I'm thriving. Now it's like and I can tell because the same things I used to do don't help me get to where I'm supposed to be. And the same things that like I do now can't help people who's in the opposite side of things. And it sucks too. I hate being on that side of things where it's like you've already been through what they've been through. Because you're not in that side of things, like what helped you get
Yeah.
through it, like there's not a single thing I can tell you now. And it's crazy.
I wish there was like there's like a weird topic. Have you ever like it's a different feeling like when like you're young, right? And you're sitting there and
Mm.
you're sitting there in the bed and you're like, dang, a father really would have resolved these situations in like a second, a millisecond,
Yeah.
or half a second. Like not even that. Like this situation that like brought out so much stress and problems could have been
Yeah.
stopped
Could
in
have
a
been
half of a
easily
second. Yeah.
solved had I been. Yeah.
And then a branch off from that is taking the step yourself, and then being
Yeah.
like, and then after the fact, there's so much like down look.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the hardest thing about being a man is you have to start from. If you don't start from a place of abundance, you're already in a rough spot. Abundance would
yeah.
be like having a present, whatever that may be. And I think that I'm trying to think.
That should give you an ego though.
Yes, but yeah, it do. It ultimately it does. I think as I got older, what being a man looked like changed. Like instead of expecting it from dad, like I got it from my grandfather, and I was able to identify that like I may not have this, but I clearly have this.
Yeah. Like it just
And I think it changes everything because now you know what's the craziest thing? Now the thing I get told the most is that I act just like my grandfather now, and that's like I think it's one of the biggest compliments because it means that I've outgrown some of the whatchamacallit, some of the
stigmas.
weeds, if you will. Yeah. It lets me know I'm putting it in the right place, the right energy forward. But I think that, like, yeah, to your point, it does give you an ego because it's kind of just like, who are you to step now?
Yeah, like
Like, you've lost your mind.
it gives you an ego in like so many different realms of life.
Mm-hmm.
Like you having to stand up for yourself to such like a high degree
At such an
genuinely
early
boosts your ego.
age,
Like putting you
yeah.
like I can't
Now
like
you
are we
step to
let
anybody, like,
we storytelling?
you
What's
can,
going
you
on?
can slightly start. Yeah, yeah. If you're okay with releasing it, we're
Nah.
siblings. So whatever you release is part of me.
All right. Pause.
My bad. My bad. My bad.
Yo.
It's out of pocket. My apologies. Wasn't supposed to come out that way.
But look, like being 16 and in a situation where like you don't even have a said father figure, right? And you
Right.
put hands on a grown man,
Right.
that feeling right there, like on top of the world, like that right there would be like you feel like you a one man army, like you could do anything. It's like a real, it's a cool and dangerous feeling because self restraint is a must in situations of that manner or of that
But
matter.
you know what's crazy? In that example that you phrased, for me, the perspective that I have is like you might be on the top of the world, but you're on the top of the Eiffel Tower. Like let you take one step to stand up higher, and you're gonna get pushed off. Not by me, but like just like I want to grab the shirt and be like, hey. If you
Whoa there.
if you stand too high, like you don't have anywhere to stand on. I think it's a different perspective because it's like it's duality. And actually I'll phrase it this way: had I not overcome it before like you had gotten to 16, I probably would have gave you a whole different response. I probably would have given you a whole different response. It's honestly perfect timing that I'm able to persevere the certain things, and then it happens to you.
One thing though, the easiest another that's what I was gonna say. It was only took my tongue the whole time. The lesson, like a lesson that I'm glad I learned, or like one thing that I needed to learn
Mm.
was that
Be careful.
some let me just say for starters, violence is never the answer. We're gonna say that. Violence is never the answer.
I'm listening.
But I'm gonna say right now, 100% guarantee on situations being solved instantly, quickly, rather than sitting there getting something stripped from you, some type of mental strain done to you, some
Mm.
type of like
Mm.
financial strain, some type of anything.
Mm.
Very quick result, very quick answer.
Right.
And it's just done right there. You could take it up a degree, you could take it up a degree, take it up a notch. Now your problem solved even quicker. There's like
Yes, but
before, because I know what you're gonna say. What the problem, what it comes down to at the end of the day, is how far are you willing to go to prove that they're not willing to go farther than you. Now, me, I'm
you're gonna
I'm
take
gonna
it
let you
there.
know. No, I'm gonna take it as far as you want to go. I promise you right now. Like I'm
I'll
gonna
open
take
the
it as
door for
far
you.
as you want to go.
However
It's
you would
like if Tito, I'm gonna take Tito. I'm gonna take it as far as you like as far as you want to go, bro. For real, to the max, off the back.
I can only take things as far as I'm willing to not look over my shoulder.
If you when you're in the right crowd, you got someone looking over your shoulder for
But I
you.
don't.
Yeah, you do.
You are one person. But think about it. Think about any situation, right? I don't mean that in terms of like obviously it'd be raps, but just think about like any time that I have to call, like every time I have to text, call, or to like get you to come into play, or whatever play has to be made consistently over and over again. That's too much energy for what I'm about to do.
I can see like for like I can see how like you like yourself like with like the energy would be like to have to like oh I gotta call these, you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah, I have to
but
make a phone
just
call, I have to make
know
a text, and then I have to crash out and then do
it's not a
accordingly.
problem for other people if they live for
They live for it.
it. I'm gonna let you know that right now. Like it's not you're not this isn't an inconvenience.
I wake up every day waiting for the phone to ring.
yes. This is a we got something to do. Oh, we got a mission. Oh, we got to quit. Like I'm so serious. Like it's really like a you wake up, you hit your men.
At least I'm not a crash out.
We got
At
something to
that
do. We
point,
got to come
every
up.
single issue would be crash outable.
Huh?
I'm saying at least I'm not a crash out because every issue would be crash outable.
That's what the self restraint comes in. It's like you got to be bigger. It's hard to be bigger than the picture when you want to break out of the frame.
My whole life
You
is
feel
being the
me?
bigger person. I promise you. It's the hardest thing you can do. I find it harder to be the bigger person than it is to crash out. Every time.
Like you want to, in order to do to that example, that analogy, to be the bigger picture, you got to break out the frame. But the frame consists of things like what would be
I see where you're going with this. I do not have a rebuttal to oppose that point of view. In my
yeah,
current body, I don't have a rebuttal to oppose that point of view.
yeah. Like I can't reword. I'm trying to find the way to reword it, but I
No,
just
I
can't.
think I understand what you're saying. I just can't. I can't find a way to. Bless you.
Oh,
All right. Nah, I think I have to leave that there. I have to leave that on the table because I don't have a rebuttal for it. I don't have a rebuttal for it at all. It's unfortunate because I'd have to be somebody else to have a rebuttal for it, and I'm not.
all right, I got it. The frame would represent things like when you said looking over your shoulder. The frame would represent things like your stable job, like your people, or let's say things like things that you want to hold on to that like you worked hard for that are material things you don't want to let go of. But the picture is you being like more successful or bigger than the situation you're talking about, solving the situation
Mm.
quickly, or just coming up and being the best version of yourself, coming into bands quick, money quick. But you do that, the frame gonna break eventually. You can't have your cake and eat it.
But you wouldn't be having your cake and eat it.
Everything comes with a sacrifice. You got to put energy in to get energy out.
Yeah, it will. But I think in terms of how that affects the painting is different. It'd be like throwing water on a painting as opposed to just adding more paint. Like
Some paintings are
one's
waterproof.
gonna bleed the
Some paintings
frame.
are waterproof.
No, I agree. I guess I mean generally. Like if you throw water on something, you've ruined it. And you probably ruined the frame as well. You throw more paint on it, the only thing you have to do is probably get a bigger frame. As opposed to reconstructing the frame because it's damaged. Because you chose to say, it ain't really worth it. But
There's
I don't have, like I said, like I have to leave that on the table. I would have to be somebody else to give you a different answer
yeah
because I don't think
that's
I'm
fair.
I don't think
That's
I'm
fair.
there yet
That's fair.
because that frame makes up the reason why the painting's so good for me. It's like I can't take one out the other.
Once you achieve the ability to not have to watch your back, you realize there's a lot more opportunities. But opportunities also come with the negative out. You have the freedom of expression, not the freedom of consequence. That's what it is. You have more freedom of expression, but much less freedom of consequence. That's what it is.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I think that that's true in any capacity. Whatever you choose to express, you do not have to control as well for your consequences. So if you choose to take that to the ceiling, then by all means,
Exactly.
that's where it will
You
meet you.
better you got to come to terms with yourself, and
Right,
you better realize how far you're about to take it.
right.
I'm gonna take it there still, but still you got to realize.
I think capacity. So okay, so yeah, to your point, I think that the way that I am now, I'm always capable of taking it there. I think that's the difference now. I just won't do it every
Exactly.
single time,
Exactly.
but I'm always capable of taking it there. And there might be some situations I have to, and when that comes, I can't hesitate. But I think prior to that, if it's avoidable, I will. That's my mindset. If it's avoidable and not necessary, I will not do it.
That's real. There's it's also people underestimate how many problems can be solved just by your name.
I've learned that the hard way. And by problem solve, I mean like on the other end, like how many problems are caused by the name. So I can only imagine what the name will solve.
It's yeah.
Shout out to the Jeans. Shout out to the Bundys.
Shout out to the DMV, the North.
Right. With that, I see that we've come to a certain amount of the episode where we need to close. If you have anything you want to add before we close out,
Believe none of what you see. Or
Alright.
sorry, I messed it up. Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. You feel me?
that'll work. That'll work. And that's the season's episode. That'll work.